Casey Neistat, thank you for doing this interview. It is greatly appreciated from all creators, but in reality, we're missing some questions that needed to be asked. And I'm not trying to say you softballed him, but I think you could have gone better with asking questions because you of all people have been on Twitter talking about how certain things need to be answered. Now, I want to present 10 questions that Casey Neistat didn't ask. And I'm going to butcher his name, but there are some things that Mr. Kinkle, I feel like, could have addressed, and he did sidebar a couple of questions, but that's a different topic for a different video. And now, I want to break this video down into 10 different questions that I have, and the first 5 of them will be a purely business / trying to be as unbiased as possible questions, and the other 5 will be my personal opinions. And if you have any questions you think that need to be answered, leave them in the comments down below. I'll be doing a follow-up video with some friends, and we'll possibly talk about these types of topics. Number 1, why is there a lack of trust with creators? Why does it seem like that you can be terminated if you have 100,000, million, 5 million subscribers without any notice or really warning at all? Wouldn't it make sense that if you have people who are going onto your platform, building up an audience of hundreds of thousands of subscribers, whether it be for any particular video or type of content, wouldn't you trust that person that they do have your business and as well as their business's interest at heart? So for creators, it feels like after you've earned such an audience or following that you would ask for some trust for the company that, to an extent, you are representing. Which leads me into question 2. Why is there a lack of communication with creators who have that type of what should be earned trust? If there are certain creators who have the ability to contact YouTube reps, people who have the ability to maybe get into direct contact with executives in YouTube or even Google, wouldn't it make sense that you would give these people your trust? And in giving them your trust, you would communicate what your company's goals and missions are. And then on top of that, you would make rules and algorithm changes that would best suit how to help these people grow more, because in the end, you do want to make money. So if your trusted creators are the biggest profits for your company, you would trust them and try to aid them in growing more without giving them an unfair advantage. Thirdly, preferential treatment. It is no surprise that there are some creators out there, not naming any names, that seem to have the ability to make multiple mistakes and take little to no recourse. And what seemed like an ultimate PR attempt, it was publicized on YouTube's very own Twitter that they were removing ads from Logan Paul's video. Now, we all understand that Logan Paul has a certain level of success with multiple YouTube Red series, that he has his name established. YouTube knows who he is, and they work together to create projects. But why was it needed to be publicized that they were taking away his advertisements for a certain amount of time that we have seen could be as little as 72 hours? This seems like a PR statement, because if it were any other creator who were mentioned in this, this would be seen as a very bad move on YouTube's part to publicize something so personal in an attempt to quell a bloodthirsty community. Number 4, the subscriber feed. It's not surprising to see that YouTube has still been having issues with doing the very core of what YouTube is meant to do, which is subscribe to a channel and get their video uploads in your subscription feed. But instead of trying to fix the core issue, they have proceeded to add more features onto the website, because it seems like YouTube is failing to do what needs to be done in the core functionality of YouTube, which is if you subscribe to a channel, you expect to see any future uploads that channel uploads in your subscriber feed. And they have proceeded to add a bell icon to get notifications, and on top of the bell icon not working now, there's this new feature about getting occasional and all notices from that. Why would YouTube not fix the core issue, which is the sub boxes? Fix the main issue and don't use any of these additional features, because this is what people expect when they're using the service. Fifthly, why does it appear that political videos take a certain bias on the platform? A good portion of conservative or right-leaning YouTubers actively see stagnation, dampening, demonetization of their channel, whilst people who are more left-leaning or democratic have seen explosive growth through the years. And it would make sense that a certain organization would like to align itself with what its beliefs are, but when you have a company as big as Google, which is publicly traded, that they would steer away from any political bias. And yet it seems, and that's a key, it seems here, that people who lean on right-leaning / conservative ideals are very much punished to an extent in the YouTube algorithm. Now that's all for the business questions, and these are some of my personal questions now. So I want to do 5 more questions that are personal and slightly biased questions as well. Firstly, and this is my most upsetting one personally, why are advertisers not paying more money to creators? Over the years, YouTube has implemented more algorithms, more data, more tracking knowledge, more AI to the website to really dedicate itself to finding what do people of certain demographics or target audiences want to watch. So if I'm an advertiser and I want to advertise only to 18 to 31-year-old females, and I want to do this only specifically on beauty/makeup channels, I have the capability of spending money and targeting that exact demographic, whereas if I were to spend the same type of money on television, I don't know what type of demographic I'm getting other than statistics that are collected through mass assumption. It would seem fair that in 2010 to 2012, when creators are making what was a close to $2 CPM, that after almost a decade in time, we're up to 2018 now, that there would be a raise involved. The advertisers would be expected to pay more for such a targeted amount of advertising. I have been working with a lot of podcasters, and I've seen the type of figures that they make. Just to throw the example out there, the H3 podcast could easily be making upwards to $50,000 to $100,000 per episode, almost per advertiser. So if I'm an advertiser, why am I not expected to pay close to that amount for what is a very targeted demographic for my advertisement? Secondly, there appears to be a bias on the trending tab. One of the great things that we saw when YouTube introduced this was the Creators on the Rise and the Musicians on the Rise program. And I greatly applaud the attempt to try to get new creators into the spotlight. But it very much appears that trending doesn't mean trending. It doesn't seem that viral marketing or viral sensations really have an appeal. It instead feels like trending is a picked page. We've seen channels with nothing more than 1,000 subscribers, maybe a couple hundred subscribers, get tens of thousands of views. That's 10 with 4 zeros on it, and it would end up on the trending tab. Meanwhile, there are creators, just for example, like Keemstar and PewDiePie, who get millions of views a day, and yet they rarely occur on the trending tab, if not ever. And I can understand not wanting to have what could be considered risky or risque content on the trending tab, because that is to an extent the hub main platform stage of YouTube. But it would make sense that creators wouldn't be shown a bias, and it would just be based off of a pure algorithm standpoint. And what appears to be, instead of what appears to be some random YouTube employee picking what they deem is a friendly, advertiser safe, or relevant video, and not what the algorithm is dictating, which has been created by YouTube. Nextly, third, the lack of giving creators their plaque buttons. They have introduced a program when you hit 100,000, a million, and 10 million subscribers that you earn a plaque dedicated to you achieving such a massive amount of subscribers. And yet, now we've seen over the years, now they're starting to deny people their plaques. And whilst YouTube has the right to dictate who they award a plaque, it would not be fair to deny people plaques rather than reinstating the rule books of the plaque. Because when this was announced, it was announced that if you hit these milestones, you would earn a plaque from YouTube. But now we're seeing YouTube starting to change their mind on this, which is perfectly fine, but it would make no sense to not give those who have earned their plaques through legitimate means instead of just denying people and now further changing the rules. YouTube should absolutely honor the agreement they made before they change the rule. Fourth, and I hope a lot of people can understand this one, why does mass outrage go completely unheard on YouTube? We've seen a myriad of problems going on in the YouTube community, with one of the great examples again being H3 bringing up a giant ring of problematic videos being displayed front and center on the YouTube Kids app. It took months upon months of videos being made, people talking about this problem, people mass reporting, flagging, and trying to get a hold of somebody in the YouTube support community to say that these videos are not suitable for kids. These videos involve syringes, fecal matter, and dangerous situations. And yet it's prominently displayed in the front page of the YouTube Kids app. And it took months before somebody made a statement towards this problem. And it seems like it only was made clear as it was being a problem or really required a response from YouTube when mainstream news outlets reported on this instead of YouTube's own community. It doesn't seem fair that YouTube's community is trying to actively police itself and follow the rule book and follow all of the terms of service that are created by YouTube and Google. And when they try to mass report it and police the community, that the very people who created this platform aren't listening to the people who are trying to police the platform. And as a result, we see things like the adpocalypse because the people who created the platform aren't listening to the people following the rules. And lastly, where did the love for short form go? Where is the support for those who spend hours upon days, upon weeks, upon months working on something, for example, short animation or short film project or skit humor? There's no appreciation for this type of content anymore. And in fact, it's punished in the algorithm. Now, it is YouTube's goal to dictate what content it wants on its platform. And I fully support its decision. But it would make sense that it was an algorithm that was dictated towards helping people who get massive amounts of views. Because if small creators or people who create short form content get lots of views, YouTube and the creator both stand to profit from the situation. So why is the algorithm in no way, shape, or form working towards helping people who do this type of artwork? Because we have seen more and more creators and animators and designers and artists, they just stagnate and they die off because they just can't afford to work on this platform anymore. Whereas previously, before 2012, they were greatly rewarded for just the pure amount of effort they put into their content because it reached such a huge audience. It was a massively shared thing. And it would make sense that in the algorithm where you want people to stay on your website, animators would be greatly rewarded because generally they follow humor or satire, or they follow a type of format. So people who watch one of these videos will follow and do multiple videos. People who like art projects will follow and see more other art projects created on the platform. People who like music will listen to more music. It would make sense that YouTube would want to do what its creators and its very own viewers would want to see. And those are my last 5 questions that are my personal questions that I want to ask. If you guys have anything else that you feel I did not cover in this, please leave it in the comment section down below. I would love to see this happen more often. I think what Casey Neistat did was absolutely amazing. Getting the CBO of YouTube to actually agree to just be like, yes, we're no PR, no blockades, you're just going to answer some questions that I have to do with your platform or that you're going to just be subject to. It was fantastic, and it was a great first step in the right direction, but I feel like there were questions that were left unanswered or not even asked in the first place, and I feel like there's a lot of creators who still leave this interview watching it. They want to know more. They want to see what is YouTube going to do to help keep them on the platform, because as we see with competitors like Facebook, like DTube, like everything else going on, people want to leave this platform. People want to find somebody else who's going to treat them better. And if YouTube doesn't do it, they're going to lose their creators. Somebody that gives them a better offer, the creators will leave the platform. And I agree with the CBO, Mr. Krinsa. I'm sorry I probably butcher his name, but people want to see more. They want to be treated fairly, and the viewers want to be able to watch the videos that they subscribe to. So it would make sense to reward the people who are using your platform correctly and fairly. And again, no hate directed towards anybody in this video. In fact, again, I really appreciate Casey Neistat going out of his way to do this interview. But we need to see more work done to reward the people who are using this platform. And in the end, I think it's fair to say that we all want to see this platform continue to survive and thrive because we love it. We don't complain about it because we hate it. We want to see it grow and do better.